Okay, we're here on Camp Mohican property at what's lovingly called the Executive Suite. There pretty much is no finer place to come and have lunch. But we're going to look at the Thorfire TK18. We're going to go over its features, talk about it a little bit, and we'll discuss who the flashlight is really good for. Is there a better spot to do a flashlight review? That ridge right there, as soon as you get to the top, it drops down immediately to the Old Mine Road and the Delaware River. And we take a slow pan around. That ridge over there is the Appalachian Trail. We're just north of Mohican Road. And if you're heading northbound from here, next road crossing would be Millbrook Road. And we'll finish up our panoramic 360. Very exciting. Hope I didn't make anybody sick. All right, let's get to the flashlight. Okay, this is the Thorfire TK18. It comes in a pretty decently sturdy box. It comes, of course, with 2 O-rings and some directions. If you're interested, you could pause. There's the factory specs. Low is 3 lumens, and I have to say, because I use moon mode more than anything else, it's quite low. Works out great. Medium is 100 lumens, high is 500 lumens, and turbo is 1200 lumens. The bike strobe, by the way, operates in the high mode of 500 lumens. Now, supposedly, you're going to get 100 hours on low, 10 hours on medium, 2 hours and 30 minutes on high, and 45 minutes on turbo. What's interesting about the TK18 is that it has 2 different groups of modes. One is a ramping mode, which goes from moonlight all the way up to turbo. And the other is a 4-mode setup, low, medium, high, and turbo. There's a hidden bike strobe if you're into that. The TK18 comes with a Cree XP L2 LED. It is meant to run off of an 18650 cell, but it can run off of 2 CR123A primary batteries, neither of which is included. It's about 134 millimeters in length and 24 millimeters in diameter. My scale at home says that it weighs 4.8 ounces with a cell. You'll see it has a lightly orange peeled reflector. You'll note that the LED is well centered. You'll note too that it has a stainless steel, very slightly crenulated bezel. I mean, I would hesitate to even say it's crenulated, but it is grooved a little bit so that if you set it down like this, you'll be able to see some light emitting from underneath. You'll notice that it has fairly aggressive pineapple knurling. And all the grooves and cutouts right here, pretty aggressive. There's a lot of grip to this. Okay, this is a 2-switch light. Tail cap on the back primarily just turns it on and off. Momentary on, just a slight press. Don't click it all the way. If you go all the way to the click, it's just going to stay on. It has mode memory, so after a few seconds, you turn it off. It's going to go right back to where it was. The battery indicator system right here is lit up green. It'll go to orange and eventually it'll flash red. When it's green, you're somewhere north of 3.4 volts. From 3 to 3.4 volts, it'll turn orange, and anywhere from 2.8 to 3 volts, it's flashing red. Once the voltage drops below 2.8 volts, the light will shut off automatically to remind you it's time to replace the battery. So yeah, pretty nice feature. Definitely you can see it much better when it's dark out. Okay, so once it's on, you're going to use the side switch to operate everything. Just press it, and it goes, basically it cycles between high and low. So turbo, high, medium, low. I don't know if you can see it in my hand, it's still on. And then it'll go back up. So the modes don't rotate in a circle. It's basically up and back down, up and back down. In any mode, triple press, you'll get the bicycle strobe. There is no mode memory on this, so if you turn the light off and turn it back on, you'll be back to whatever normal mode you're in. So again, 3 presses, bicycle strobe. To turn it off, just hit the side switch once and you'll go back to where you were. Now, that's the standard 4 modes. I kind of like it quite a bit. The other option you have is to go with ramping. Now to switch between 4 modes and ramping and back again, you're going to do 4 quick presses and it'll flash once, and now you're on ramping. So as you hold the side switch down, you can see it getting dimmer. Now you might not have been able to see it, but it flashed once when it got down to low mode. Then to go back up, just press and hold. And you'll see it flash when it gets to the end. And there it is. Now, of course, as I go back down, you can stop wherever you want. Like, oh, that's perfect. And then you can leave it. And of course, if you leave the light on for a few seconds in that position, turn it off, you're going to come back on to that same light output. Light's pretty standard in that it comes apart in 3 pieces. Going to have the tail cap. Tail cap, right? The main body. And then the head. You can see the head is pretty big compared to other stuff because there's a lot of electronics right there. Threads are nicely cut, well lubed. A little bit of schmutz there. And yeah, it's, you know, it helps TH put the cell back in there if you're going to use it. All right. So I've been carrying this for a little over a month. This was provided to me at a discount from Thorfire. I'd like to thank those guys. I purchased it at the Thorfire Amazon store. This is really well made. It's very nice. This thing retails for $28 and change. A lot of times you can find discount codes for it on the Budget Light forum. If I can find one for you guys, I'll post it in the description box. So after carrying this for, like I said, over a month, who do I think this is really ideal for? Well, honestly, it makes a fine EDC light if you're willing to carry a light this big, which I normally do. I'm a fan of the 18650 platform. I think this particular light is fine in 4 modes, very useful. It's also fine in the ramping mode if you have the time. It's a little bit slow, and I'm not the first one to notice that. Some of my forum buddies have mentioned it in their reviews. But this light really is ideal, I think, because of the way the UI is for somebody who wants a single mode light. Okay, so let's put this back up to turbo. All right, leave it on there for a second. We're going to turn it off. Now you could have left it on any mode, right? You have almost an infinite amount of choices when you're in ramping, or you could have, if you were in 4 mode, put it in any one of the 4 modes, and you'd always have the momentary on and the constant on. And that makes it like the perfect single mode light, right? But what's nice is you have all the benefits of a single mode light, but in an emergency or some situation where you need a different level of light than what you have programmed, side switch is right there. The other cool thing is, even though this has a side switch, the side switch does nothing until you hit the tail cap switch. So there's no chance of inadvertently turning the light on. And that's a problem with some side switch only lights. Alright, so there's no need to lock out the tail cap to prevent anything happening that you don't want. So yeah, fantastic single mode light. That's what I consider this. I consider it a great single mode light that has sort of hidden options for multi-mode. Anyway, that's just the way I view the light. I'd like to thank Thorfire for the opportunity to review this light. I'd like to thank all you guys for watching it, and I'd like to thank my fellow members over at the Budget Light forum and at the Everyday Carry community for all the fun they've given me over the years.